I haven't posted a video to YouTube in many years, but there's only so much I can take and consume from these movies and TV shows before I have to go and say something publicly. I mean, things in Hollywood have just gotten worse and worse and worse nowadays. I don't know what it is with Hollywood nowadays, but stop doing live actions. These shits just do not work. Don't you think these things were made into cartoons for a reason? Because they don't work in real life. Well, obviously today we're going to be talking about the brand new Avatar live-action Netflix series that just dropped recently. From what I can see on TikTok and Twitter, the reviews are pretty mixed, but on Rotten Tomatoes... See, I didn't grow up with the original cartoon. I had only just watched it for the first time as an adult recently. Now, I know a lot of people do think the original cartoon is goated, but this live-action version definitely makes it look so. Because from the characters to the world to the story, it just makes everything so much worse in every capacity. Another thing we gotta talk about in Hollywood is what's up with the castings. When did casting for adaptations turn from accuracy to status? Because all these things that we're getting adaptations of in live action, such as The Last of Us, this, and the new upcoming Borderlands movie, I mean, the castings are basically 80% of why these things have failed or are gonna fail. These things could be so easily improved, but the casting directors look towards people who have no sense of being like the original characters from the cartoon, look nothing like them, and even in costume and with a script, they don't act or look like them. But somehow they make it past audition and then end up on our big screens. Take Katara's live-action actress for example, Kia Wentio, I believe. Yeah, she fucking sucks. She is literally one of the worst actresses I have ever seen in my entire life. She cannot act for shit.
Aang, listen to me. I know you think you don't belong in this world. But you were never meant to die 100 years ago. If you had, you wouldn't be here now.
Are you serious right now, bro?
For the entire series of 8 episodes, she was bland, she was completely emotionless, all she did was make awkward smiles, she didn't know how to cry, she didn't know how to frown, she didn't know how to do anything but be awkward. She didn't have any essence of the actual character Katara from the original series.
You are the most sexist, immature, nut-brained... I'm embarrassed to be related to you! Ever since Mom died, I've been doing all the work around camp while you've been off playing soldier. I even wash all the clothes! Have you ever smelled your dirty socks? Let me tell you, not pleasant! No! That's it, I'm done helping you! From now on your own!
Don't worry. No one could see me. Not that it matters. No one from the Fire Nation has approached the village in years. Besides, there's nothing to see. An otter penguin could bend more water than I could. Not everything is about preparing to fight. Waterbending is what built our culture. Our way of life. Keeping it alive is our duty. I know that. And if Dad were here...
And do I even gotta say it? She looks nothing like her. I mean, you could literally replace Katara's actress with a 4x4 piece of wood in her place, and these scenes would hold the exact same amount of weight. To be honest, I never liked Katara in the original series. I absolutely despise her as a character. But I would also probably take her any day over this complete shell of a person. She looks like she's gonna fall asleep every scene. versus Katara in the actual cartoon, who has drive and ambition, and she has actual emotions and gets angry, and I mean, it's just, what the hell, bro? And other castings in the show also fall flat, mostly the women characters, such as Azula, her friends, Yui or Yue, but there is one female character.
Hey, yo, what the fuck? Give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me! Just give it! Damn!
Mainly all the men do look like the characters, but some of them act like the characters and some of them don't. Such as Paul's son Hyung Lee. He looks like Iroh, but he just doesn't act like him. I just cannot buy him being Iroh. I mean, please take yourself back to Star Wars or Kim's Convenience. Also, like, even Aang's actor. I mean, sure, he looks like Aang, even though I've always seen Aang as being a little white kid, but his acting is not the best. He just doesn't really portray the character in the way that I saw him in the original cartoon. But on the other hand, you have Sokka's actor, Ian Owsley, who completely embodies the character, from looks to his voice.
So, as you know, today we're invading the Fire Nation. I mean, I know you know that, because otherwise why else would you be here?
I am Sokka, son of Hakoda, lord of, snow and ice. On behalf of the Water Tribe village of Wolf Cove, I demand that you leave immediately.
To his mannerisms, I mean, the only reason he isn't fully Sokka is because he isn't as funny, since it's not a cartoon and they can't be all goofy. And one little minute thing, which is him not being sexist for like 2 seconds. Which people genuinely tried to hate on this live action series for taking away, by the way. Makes no sense. I mean, would people genuinely rather have had Sokka be a bigot instead of him just accepting right away that women can be strong when they are being right in front of him? Something else with this show overall that is just absolutely abysmal is the CGI and the makeup. I mean, the wigs in this show are some of the worst I've ever seen. Horrible comparison, but if you look at something like the MCU, the wigs in that are so realistic. There are people still to this day finding out that Chris Evans was wearing a wig playing Captain America in those movies. And on the topic of makeup, I mean, just look at people like Zuko, whose whole thing is makeup and having his iconic scar. I mean, look at that. It's not even a scar. It looks like a freaking bruise. I mean, it legitimately looks like he just got back from a night with his pimp. But in the lore of the show, Zuko got his face incinerated by his father. And that's the result for what you guys think it would look like in real life to have your face torched? He still has his goddamn eyebrow. And we're not on that episode yet, but they will go and sit down and take 6 to 8 hours of time putting makeup on a guy to look old to play Boomy. Well, they could have just fucking casted an old dude, and they could have just fucking shaved off Zuko's eyebrow. Bang! The characters would have been already improved substantially with the way they look. Moving on to the CGI. I mean, the CGI in this show is so back and forth, like from being good to being absolutely atrocious. In one scene, the CGI with the fire and the rocks and the environment will be really good, but then in the next scene, the compositing will feel absolutely abysmal, and like the backgrounds are completely fake and you can just see that it's CGI and green screen or blue screen. It's literally so apparent. And then there's full-on scenes where they have characters like Aang being full-on CGI people when they have close-ups. Just watch this little clip.
I can't imagine a better person to have been given this power. You are my friend. You will always be my friend.
Step back, I think I'm gonna vomit! Long before time had a name, the first Spinjitzu master created ninja.
There are just so many aspects to this show that are not good, and the reason why that a live action Avatar just wouldn't work. There are some things that could be changed that could make it somewhat work more and be a little bit more towards the right direction, but what we have as the result out of the $120 million budget is definitely nowhere near what we should have had. Now I can go on and on about how imperfect this adaptation is. From Aang flying around like Peter Pan in just the first episode without his glider, to Fire Lord Ozai being way more front and center and not being the faceless, menacing, in the shadows guy he is in the cartoon, to the pacing being so bad that they include episodes from the actual show that don't happen till season 2. And there's no Toph. But the show did just get renewed for season 2 and 3, so I guess we'll have to see if she shows up in the later seasons.
I hope so.
Now I could go on and on, but this would be like a 30-minute video. If you guys want to see more videos about this series, or more series in particular, or a movie or something, just let me know in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in, and see y'all in the next one.
That is one big pile of shit.